Today, we're going to take a journey, but not just into a building. We're diving into a world where architecture, art, and sacred ritual all come together in one absolutely breathtaking place. We're exploring the Arreqqana Coastal Opera, a house of sacred sound and story. And our journey really begins with the philosophy that's literally carved into its entrance. Right there on the marble arch is the theater's guiding motto. And get this, it's not just some fancy decoration. This is their core philosophy. It tells you that for the Arreqqana, performance isn't just entertainment. It's a fundamental expression of being alive. To speak, to sing, that's how you truly feel. And to burn with that passion, well, that's how you truly live. So let's really get into it. I want you to imagine you're an aristocrat arriving for a performance. The very first thing that hits you isn't the building itself, but the world it lives in. You see, the theater's built right into the landscape. It's perched on these glowing cliffs, and the building itself is designed to work with nature, not against it. The sound of the ocean, that's not just background noise, no way. It's a huge part of the experience, echoing through these chambers that are carved to look and act like massive shells. The air itself feels alive with sound before a single note is even sung. Okay, so we've seen the stunning outside, but now let's head inside. The source material calls this living architecture, and trust me, you are about to see exactly why. Let's take a quick tour of its most important spaces. So, as you can see, the whole place is basically carved into 4 distinct areas. You've got the huge public stage, and then you go all the way down to the most private sacred shrine backstage. Each and every space has a very specific role to play in the whole ritual of the performance. Let's check them out one by one. And this is where things get really clever. The main hall isn't just shaped like a crescent shell because it looks cool. Nope. Those curves are precisely engineered to boost the sound of their music, specifically what they call the 9 sacred scales. So the sound doesn't just travel. It kind of blooms. It fills the whole space with this quality that can actually make people feel, as the source says, lightheaded and spiritually uplifted. Now, if you go deeper inside, you find this incredible underground amphitheater. And get this, the walls are described as being made of liquid glass. This place isn't for the big, grand epics. It's for more personal, intense stuff, intimate chamber operas, and something called poetic duels, which, don't worry, we'll get to later. It's a space that feels like it's built for secrets and really powerful emotions. All right, intermission time. You might step out onto the Aether balcony, and the fountain here is something else. It's not just a water feature, it's interactive. During the break, it magically reflects the sigils, the unique personal symbols of the performers you just saw on stage. It's where the nobles get to hang out, socialize under the stars, completely surrounded by art. But the magic isn't just for the audience, because backstage, hidden away from everyone's eyes, is the real spiritual heart of the theater. Before every single show, the performers gather here at this shrine. They give offering chants to Lali, the goddess of voice. This just shows you, for them, performing isn't a job. It is a sacred duty. It's a form of worship. But here's the thing. The performance isn't just happening on the stage. The audience members themselves are a huge part of the spectacle. Attending the opera is a ritual all on its own, and it comes with some very strict rules for how you act and what you wear. And the dress code? It is incredibly specific. Men are in these deep navy tunics with trim that literally glows, and their cloaks are held on with these special shell brooches that show what noble house they're from. The women wear these amazing gowns the color of waves, with coral embroidery, and their veils are actually inscribed with their family sigils. Basically, your outfit tells everybody in the room exactly who you are and where you stand. Okay, this is one of my favorite details. They don't clap. There's no applause. Instead, the audience shows they loved it with something called a wave whisper. At the end of an act, everyone creates this low, collective hum that perfectly matches the final notes sung on stage. It's this beautiful, communal way of showing appreciation, turning the entire audience into one single harmonious instrument. It's wild. And I mean, every single performance starts with this invocation. The chant itself connects all the big ideas of their philosophy. The soul, which they call Kia, the flame, which is all about passion, and the flow, which is how you turn that inner fire into a voice that people can hear. So what's the big takeaway here? They're making the space sacred. They're blessing the performance before it even starts. So the invocation is done. The audience is literally humming with anticipation. Now, let's turn our attention to the stage itself and check out the really unique art forms that happen here. And the types of shows they put on? The variety is just incredible. You've got your title tragedies, these really emotional stories about sacrifice and lost love. Then there are the huge flame flow epics, which are all about wars and gods arguing. Pearl masks are more like interactive parties, where the color of your mask represents an emotion. And finally, you have resonant duels. Think of them as competitive poetry slams, where the winner is chosen not by their words, but by the physical vibration of their voice and how the audience hums in response. And the orchestra? Just as unique as the shows. They're called the Harmonic Flame Ensemble, and they use instruments made from things found on the coast. I mean, think about this. They have shell lyres that supposedly don't just play music, they amplify the emotion in the hall. They've got silver flutes shaped like cresting waves. And the rhythm section? It's these incredible glass drums filled with actual seawater and glowing stones. The sound must be completely otherworldly. On stage, the performers themselves are a spectacle, and there's a very clear hierarchy. At the very top is the Hyverin, the lead singer, who's dressed in sea gold. They're supported by the Sahavir, the lead dramatist, and the Valina, who tells a story through this amazing mix of dance and chanting. Each role is instantly recognizable by their title and their specific ceremonial outfit, a clear sign of their skill and status. All right, the last note has been sung, that final wave whisper is fading out, but don't think for a second that the night is over. Oh no. Let's look at what happens after the performance and how this incredible art form creates a lasting legacy. The whole experience is framed by these amazing rituals. During intermission, nobles go to a reflection basin and dip their fingers in the water to physically echo and sort of process the emotions they just felt from the stage. And when the show is truly over, a 7-tone chime rings out from the theater's bells, sending the story's final echo out over the cliffs and into the sea. And after all that, the nobility head to the Shah Valera soirée. We're talking a lavish banquet with the most fantastical food and drink. Things like seafoam wine and flame fruit tarts. But even at the party, the art keeps going. Musicians perform echo spirals, which are these improvised duets that basically retell the opera's emotional journey, but in reverse. So here's what it all boils down to. The Arreqqana Coastal Opera is so much more than a music hall. It's a semi-sacred space where culture and power completely intertwine. Sure, it's a place for spiritual experiences, but it's also where the great noble houses do business. Important alliances are made, marriages are arranged, all in the glow of the after-opera banquet. Here, art is statecraft. And all of this leaves us with one big question, right? We've seen how every single part of this theater, from its shell-shaped hall to the audience's wave whisper, is designed to channel emotion, to reinforce the social structure, and to connect the physical world to the divine. So it really makes you think, when a building is designed so intentionally to channel art, spirit, and power, what does it truly create? Is it just a performance? A community? Or is it the very foundation of a civilization?